Story 1. And then one day you find 10 years have gone by. No one told you when to run. You missed the starting gun. Story 2. I have long since retired, and my sons have moved away. I called him up the other day and said, I would like to see you if you don't mind. He replied, I would love to, Dad, if I could find the time. You see, my new job is a hassle and the kids have the flu. But it's nice talking to you, Dad. It's been nice talking to you. Story 3. Too much blood has flowed from the wrists of the children shamed for those they chose to kiss. Story 4. Pearl Jam. Black. I know someday you'll have a beautiful life. I know you'll be a star in somebody else's sky. But why can't it be mine? Story 5. From the Night We Met by Lord Huron. I first heard the song when I was going through a divorce and was immediately drawn to the lyrics. I felt my ex-wife slipping away, like in the first line. I teared up when I heard it. I had all of you, then most of you, some of you, and now none of you. Take me back to the night we met. I don't know what I'm supposed to do, haunted by the ghost of you. Take me back to the night we met. Story 6. It just takes some time, little girl. You're in the middle of the ride. Everything will be just fine. My dad used to sing it to me, and he passed not too long ago. It used to be such an upbeat song for me. Now it's a painful reminder. Story 7. Figure 09 Lincoln Park. And now you have become a part of me. You will always be right here. You have become a part of me. You will always be my fear. I cannot separate myself from what I have done. Giving up a part of me. I have let myself become you. I have let myself become you. I have let myself become lost inside these thoughts of you. Giving up a part of me. I have let myself become you. Story 8. The years rolled slowly past, and I found myself alone, surrounded by strangers I thought were my friends. I felt further and further from my home. Story 9. And you run to catch up with the sun, but it's sinking, racing around to come up behind you again. The sun is the same in a relative way, but you're older, shorter of breath, and one day closer to death. When you are 25, it is just a good tune. 55, it's all too true. Story 10. Hey, don't give up on yourself yet. It's only in your head that you feel left out or looked down on. Just try your best and do everything you can. Don't worry about what they tell themselves when you're away. It just takes some time. Little girl, you're in the middle of the ride. Everything will be just fine. Everything will be all right. Story 11. The lies they feed me are as edible as mercury. Fish. This lyric illustrates a twofold reason for consideration. First, the lyric itself, and second, its origin from Fish, a band known for their whimsical lyrical compositions. Story 12. I'll tell you all my secrets, but I lie about my past. Made me realize how much I let people in while keeping them at arm's length in some respects. Story 13. Chuck Berry, Memphis, Tennessee. Marie is only 6 years old. Please try to put me through to her in Memphis, Tennessee. I never saw that coming, and it makes the sentiment of the song so much more heartbreaking than what you might think it's about at first. I well up every single time, even just typing it. Story 14. The tears run down your face when you lose something you cannot replace. Fix You plays repeatedly as I drive my cancer-ridden dad around in my truck so he can get out of his hospital room. Story 15. You say love is a temple, love is a higher law. Love is a temple, love is the higher law. You ask me to enter, but then you make me crawl. And I can't hold on to what you have when all you have is hurt. I can't believe people use this as their wedding song. As a gay child growing up in the 1990s, I remember hearing this and it instantly made sense. Story 16. Mike and the Mechanics. The Living Years. Class song. From the very first words all the way through. If you have not heard it, play it. The video is definitely worth watching as well. Story 17. At 7 p.m., the old cook came on deck saying, "Fellas, it's too rough to feed you." When the captain reported in, he had water coming in. He said, "Fellas, it's been good to know you." Story 18. The whole song is powerful, but maybe there is a God above. However, all I have ever learned from love was how to shoot someone who outdrew me. It is not a cry that you hear at night. It is not someone who has seen the light. It is cold and a broken hallelujah. Story 19. Let us die young or let us live forever. We don't have the power, but we never say never. Sitting in a sandpit, life is a short journey. The music is for the sorrowful. Story 20. Ticking away the moments that make up a dull day, you fritter and waste the hours in an offhand way. Kicking around on a piece of ground in your hometown, waiting. Story 21. The sun is the same in a relative way, but you are older, shorter of breath, and one day closer to death. I am going to find a girl who can show me what laughter means, and then we will fill in the missing colors in each other's paint by numbers. I am going to be a happy fool and strive for money. Story 22. The world was on fire, and no one could save me but you. It's strange what desire can lead foolish people to do. I never dreamed that I would meet somebody like you, and I never dreamed that I would lose somebody like you. Story 23. I'm not ready to make nice. I'm not ready to back down. I'm still angry, and I don't have time to go round and round. It's too late to make it right. I probably wouldn't if I could, because I'm angry, and I don't have time to do what you think I should. Estranging my parents was difficult. I had a full nervous breakdown. I moved my whole house and family hours away because I realized I was in danger of harming myself in that environment. Despite telling extended family about my experiences and what I had gone through since age 7, when my mother married my stepfather, I received the response of, "You should forgive them before it's too late. It's been 6.5 years. I don't have time to forgive them. I'm not obligated to be kind to people who couldn't be good to me when I was at my most vulnerable." Story 24. Johnny's life passed him by like a warm summer day. If you listen to the wind, you can still hear him play. Story 25. I know someday you'll have a beautiful life. I know you'll be a star in somebody else's sky, but why can't it be in mine? Story 26. Well, it is something you could find on a CD. Louis C.K. provides social commentary, stating that some people will never have intimate relationships. They spend their lives focusing on personal hygiene and then ultimately pass away. That's it. Story 27. When my time comes, forget the wrongs I've done. Help me leave behind some reasons to be missed, and don't resent me. When you're feeling empty, keep me in your memory. Leave out all the rest. These lyrics resonate more deeply after Chester's passing. Story 28. Popping bottles in the ice, like a blizzard. The lyric, popping bottles in the ice, like a blizzard, evokes powerful imagery of indulgence, excess, and temporary joy. The blizzard suggests an overwhelming force of energy, while the ice points to a certain cool detachment in the pursuit of material pleasures. The entire lyric captures a momentary high, a lavish celebration, but one that is fleeting and ultimately unsustainable. In a philosophical sense, it reflects on the tension between wanting to feel alive in the moment and the emptiness that sometimes follows when those moments pass. It is a sharp contrast between the intensity of celebration and the realization that the party eventually ends. Story 29. Mothers, tell your children, be quick, you must be strong. Life is full of wonder. Love is never wrong. Silent Legacy by Melissa Etheridge. Story 30. When I was a teen, I enjoyed Late Lament by the Moody Blues. It is the finale to the concept album Days of Future Past. Breathe deep the gathering gloom. Watch lights fade from every room. People reflect and lament. Another day's energy spent. Impassioned lovers unite as one. A lonely man cries for love and has none. A new mother cares for her son. Elderly citizens wish they were young. Cold-hearted orb that rules the night. Removes the colors from our sight. Red is gray, is yellow, is white. But we decide which is right, and which is an illusion. Story 31. Day after day, love turns gray, like the skin on a dying man. Night after night, we pretend it's all right. But I have grown older, and you have grown. Story 32. Overwhelmed as one would be in my position, it is a heavy burden to be the one born to bear the nature of our ending. I must write it down for the whole world to see, but I forgot my pen. Typical. Story 33p. Floyd, run, rabbit, run. Dig that hole, forget the sun. And at last, when your work is done, don't sit down. It's time to dig another one. What's the point of working so hard just so somebody else can get rich off your labor? Don't forget to enjoy life along the way. Retirement isn't the goal. It's to enjoy the journey. Also, J. Lennon, most people waste their lives planning for it. Story 34. Did you ever make it to the gate? If you did, I wonder, is it a beautiful place? Did he put his arms around you and make you feel safe? Did he take your hand and say that things are okay? Story 35. Life is what happens to you while you are busy making other plans. I have sung it to my son at bedtime many times over the past 5 years, and I cry every time at that part. He was a surprise baby and, at the time, not a particularly happy one. However, as always, time revealed a greater plan than I had for myself. It serves as a reminder that life is not just about the big monumental events but also about the fleeting moments of every day. Story 36. I wasn't there that morning when my father passed away. I didn't get to tell him all the things I needed to say. Story 37. And I find it funny, yet sad. The dreams in which I feel I'm dying are the best I've ever had. Story 38. From Paul Simons, Graceland. And she said, losing love is like a window in your heart. Everyone sees you're blown apart. Everyone sees the wind blow. Story 39. And if I show you my dark side, will you still hold me tonight? And if I open my heart to you and show you my weak side, what would you do? Story 40. You make me wish I could disappear. Ascensionism by sleep token. But yes, I agree. Even in Arcadia is going to hurt. May 9th. I have never looked so forward to being emotionally impacted by an album. Yet here I am. Story 41. Try Everything by Shakira sounded whimsical and cartoonish during the movie, but it was truly inspiring afterward. Story 42. This morning I woke up during a curfew. Oh God. I felt like a prisoner. I could not recognize the faces standing over me. They were all dressed in uniforms of brutality. This sentiment is highly appropriate for the United States, especially since January 21st of this year. Story 43. What should I do if I can't figure it out? I have to try again. If I still can't figure it out, I will leave again. Story 44. Proudly swaggering out of the schoolyard, waiting for the world's applause. A rebel without a conscience. A martyr without a cause. Story 45. Tin soldiers and Nixon are coming. We're finally on our own. This summer I hear the drumming. For dead in Ohio. It hit me way harder than it should have. Story 46. Now I am not looking for absolution or forgiveness for the things I do. But before you come to any conclusions, try walking in my shoes. Story 47. It's a tie for me between. I hate those people who love to tell you money is the root of all that kills. They have never been poor. They have never known the joy of a welfare Christmas. And this is the strangest life I've ever known. Story 48. Let's pretend Marshall Mathers never picked up a pen. Let's pretend things would have been no different. Pretend he procrastinated and had no motivation. Pretend he just made excuses that were so paper thin they could blow away with the wind. Marshall, you're never going to make it. It makes no sense to play the game. There is no way that you'll win. Pretend he just stayed outside all day and played with his friends. Pretend he even had a friend to say was his friend. It wasn't time to change schools again. He wasn't socially awkward and just strange as a kid. He had a father and his mother wasn't crazy. He never dreamed he could perform in stadiums and wasn't just lazy. Forget a talent show in a gymnasium. You're all about the dreams, kid. You need to get your head checked. You're thinking unrealistically. Now pretend they didn't just make him angry, and there was no one he could aim at when he was upset. His alarm went off to wake him, but he didn't make it to the rap competition. He slept through his plane and missed it. He's going to have a hard time explaining to Haley and Lainey about these food stamps and this week situation, because he never took risks. He hoped and wished for things, but they didn't just fall into his lap, so he isn't even here. This verse from Eminem really hits hard every time. He lays out an alternate path. if he was less ambitious and had less belief in himself. He's going to have a hard time explaining to Haley and Lainey about these food stamps and this week's situation, because he never took risks. He hoped and wished for things, but they didn't fall into his lap, so he isn't even here. This line resonates with me particularly because I know people close to me who are exactly this way. Sends chills down my spine. Story 49. If I leave you, it doesn't mean I love you any less. Keep me in your heart for a while. Warren Zevon. Keep me in your heart. If this plays while I am in the car, I know I will have to explain why my eyes are red whenever I arrive at my destination. Story 50. Sometimes I wonder if I should be medicated and if I would feel better just slightly sedated. Long before I received my attention deficit hyperactivity disorder diagnosis, I was not medicated. Now that I am medicated, I do feel better, albeit not slightly sedated, and I no longer have the constant noise playing in my head all day. Story 51. Just Don't Leave from Radiohead's True Love Waits. Simple and direct, it affects me every single time. Story 52. No amount of self-sought fury will bring back the glory of innocence. Take me back to Eden, Sleep Token. Story 53. Do you realize that everyone you know will someday die? Instead of saying all of your goodbyes, let them know you understand that life goes by quickly. It's hard to make the good things last. You realize the sun doesn't go down. It's just an illusion caused by the world spinning around. This thought brings a knot to my throat. Story 54. Your blue might be gray, your less might be more, your window to the world might be your own front door, and your shiniest day might come in the middle of the night. Story 55. We didn't start the fire. It has always been burning since the world has been turning. We didn't start the fire. No, we didn't ignite it, but we tried to fight it. Story 56. Don't paint me black when I used to be golden. As a survivor of abusive relationships, my friends noticed I started losing my brightness. Story 57. Another one for me is from Supertramp. And you think about what you could have been, what you might have been, if you had more time. Story 58. Operator, could you help me place this call? The number on the matchbook is old and faded. She's living in Los Angeles with my best old ex-friend Ray, a guy she said she knew well and sometimes hated. Story 59. I am sorry that I hurt you. It's something I must live with every day. The funny thing is, I didn't hurt anyone, and this song doesn't remind me of anyone, but it hits me hard every time I hear this part. Story 60. He is an angel with no halo and one wing in the fire. I am not sure how to explain it, but that resonated with my soul more than it should have. I am not really a fan of country music anymore, but I keep that song saved in my like songs list because it has an impact. Story 61. Where does our time go? We got a brand new house in escrow. We are sleeping with our back to our loved one. This is all that we've learned about happiness. John Mellencamp, check it out. Story 62. And when she wraps her hand around my finger, it puts a smile in my heart. Everything becomes a little clearer. I realize what life is all about. It's hanging on when your heart has had enough, and it's giving more when you feel like giving up. I've seen the light. It's in my daughter's eyes. Story 63. And you want to live forever in the lights you create. When we were young, we used to say that you only hear the music when your heart begins to break. Now we are the children from yesterday. Story 64. I'm never alone. I'm alone all the time. Glycerin by Bush always resonated with me until I found my wife and now my kids. Although now I'm never alone. Story 65. What would an angel say? The devil wants to know. Weird, I know. Life of trauma here, and when I loved this lyric, I had to explore why I actually liked it. Story 66. And I do not want the world to see me, because I do not think that they would understand. When everything is made to be broken, I just want you to know who I am. Story 67. From some 41s, Catching Fire. Written about lead singer Derek Whibley's wife's suicide attempt. And I never knew you needed help. Well, because you always seemed so tough. But now I'm here alone, without you by my side. If only I had known that you kept it all inside. Now I'm trying to understand, just trying to find a way. But forgive you, I just can't. It's all just too much for me to take. Story 68. You must only think of me. There can be no in-between. When your pride is on the floor, I'll make you beg for more. Story 69. I hope it's worth it. What's left behind me, yeah. I know you'll find your own way when I'm not with you, so tell everyone. The ones who walked beside me, yeah. I know you'll find your own way when I'm not with you tonight. Story 70. I guess it goes to show, does it not? We have no idea what we have until we lose it, and no amount of love will keep it around unless we choose it. Story 71. Since everyone has posted the Pink Floyd lyrics, they are outstanding. Here is something from Bruce Springsteen. I get up in the evening, and I have nothing to say. I come home in the morning, and I go to bed feeling the same way. I am nothing but tired. I am just tired and bored with myself. Hey there. Baby, I could use just a little help. Story 72. The falling in reverse version of Papa Roach's Last Resort is a wonderful and angsty interpretation, while falling in reverse's version is truly gorgeous. If you've ever lost someone, this version captures the essence of grief. Additionally, it received full approval from Jacoby Shaddix. Story 73. I tried so hard to tell myself that you are gone, but though you are still with me, I have been alone all along. Story 74. Both because it is sad on its own and because it reminds me of childhood, when my parents were big fans of Peter, Paul, and Mary. A dragon lives forever, but not so little boys. Painted wings and giant rings make way for other toys. One gray night it happened, Jackie Paper came no more. And Puff, that mighty dragon, ceased his fearless roar. Story 75. I don't know if I've ever been truly loved by a hand that has touched me. And I can go anywhere I want, just not home. I don't care if it hurts. I want to have control. I want a perfect body. I want a perfect soul. I want you to notice when I'm not around. Story 76. They say I should try meditation, but I don't want to be alone with my thoughts. Fall Out Boy appears to have created so much for Stardust, specifically for millennials experiencing a mental breakdown, which I can relate to. Story 77. I'm feeling electric tonight, cruising down the coast going about 99. I've got my partner by my side. I know if I go, I'll die happy tonight. That feeling when you are with your person. Nothing can go wrong in that moment. You know that feeling won't last forever, and you have that natural high as if nothing can stop you. Story 78. I tried so hard and got so far, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. Story 79. We face the path of time, and yet I fight, this battle all alone. No one to cry to, no place to call home. Story 80. I am at a payphone trying to call home. I spent all of my change on you. Where have the times gone? Baby, it is all wrong. Where are the plans we made for two? This one has been affecting me more intensely for the last 12 years. Story 81. I lost 2 classmates at school to overdoses. The Verve describes the feeling as like a cat in a bag waiting to drown. In their song, The Drugs Don't Work. Story 82. All lights turned off can be turned on. I'm bipolar, so it's important to remember it won't be that bad forever. Story 83. Nothing really matters when there's nothing left to lose. It hit me like a freight train during a dark time in my life. It made me think about whether ending it all was truly worth it. Story 84. I'm your friend. I'm not just a glowing friend. I may not truly be your friend, but I am here. Story 85. I drive your truck. I roll every window down, and I burn up every back road in this town. I find a field, and I tear it up until all the pain is a cloud of dust. Yeah, sometimes I drive your truck. Story 86. Candidate by bad religion. I dispense misinformation to a post-truth generation. Also, pretty much the entirety of Architects by Rise Against. But the part that usually gets me is, don't you remember when we were young? How we wanted to set the world on fire. Because I still am, and I still do. Story 87. I wished I had taken my own life. I wish I had never been born. I have been suicidal since I was 8. You have the skills of someone who received too much praise. Story 88. I'm just a clown, that's what they say. I guess my clothes give me away. All of my friends have disappeared. You know, it makes me wonder if I was ever here. It made sense of everything for me. How people saw me, what they thought of me, why they all ghosted me, and why today I'm isolated from everyone I've ever known. Story 89. I'm a little caught in the middle. Life is a maze and love is a riddle. Sounds simple, but some days it feels like the whole truth. Story 90. Who you are and what you do don't make any difference to me. Can't come down, Grateful Dead. Story 91. I heard this popular TikTok song, but this phrase stuck with me. And I'll dream each night of some version of you that I might not have, but I did not lose. It hits so hard because when you lose someone, you can still see that good side of them or imagine yourself around them in a kind of fairy tale perspective that's unattainable. In your mind, it looks so possible. You see that good side, even if you know it's something you probably won't ever get. Story 92. If you let them shape you, they will make you fragile. From a distance, you appear strong, but when the wind comes, you crumble and blow away. Story 93. Randy Neiman's My Country reflects a parent's contemplation about their children during visits. And much as I love them, I'm always kind of glad when they go away. Story 94. They can never make me hate you, even though what you were doing wasn't tasteful. Now you are out here looking so ungrateful, but I will keep it moving, being classy and graceful. Story 95. At the top of the world, but I'm still not free. It's a secret that I keep. Until it's gone, I can never find peace. I brace my whole life just to be. Story 96. It is a difficult world when you know where you are going, and it is even harder when you know where you are not. Story 97. I believed I was intelligent. I believed I was correct. I believed it was better not to argue. I believed there was a virtue in always remaining calm. So when it was time to confront the issue, I believed I would hold back, and time would show you to be mistaken, and that you would be the one at fault. Fight song, The Flaming Lips. Story 98. I sit alone and feel like a ghost. Can she see me? Does she know my heart is beating? Do I exist? I am easy to miss, like a shadow at night. What a lonely life. Story 99. Oliver Anthony's song, Rich Men North of Richmond, gives me shivers every time I hear it. Story 100. And as the earth burns to the ground, oh girl, it's you that I lie with, and as the atom bomb locks in. Story 101. Look, I have never had a dream in my life because a dream is what you want to do but still haven't pursued. I knew what I wanted and did it until it was done. So I've been the person I wanted to be since day one. She gave up her halo and tore off her wings for a sinner. Story 102. If you must leave, leave as though fire burns under your feet. If you must speak, speak every word as though it were unique. If you must die, sweetheart, die knowing your life was my life's best part. If you must die, remember your life. All of his music makes me sob, but these lines resonate deeply after experiencing profound grief. Story 103. Someone gets excited in a chapel yard and catches a bouquet. Another lays a dozen white roses on a grave. Story 104. And if all my life is wasted, that is okay, I will watch it go. Yes, it is better to die numb than to feel it all. Story 105. But I'm determined not to give up tonight. I must repel the dying light. For my parents and all my friends. For everyone who didn't make it through the night. Story 106. What you have is yours. Everything else is just an illusion. Why don't you understand? The body is dust, and emotions are just illusions. Story 107. Here I am, alone again. I can't get out of this hole I am in. It's like the walls are closing in. You can't help me. No one can. I can feel these curtains closing. I go to open them, but something pulls them closed again. Story 108. Rose against hero of war. She walked through bullets and haze. I asked her to stop. I begged her to stay, but she pressed on. So I lifted my gun, and I fired away. Story 109. An empty room can be so loud. You never got to meet your grandma, did you? Cuts me up that you will never listen to the sweet sound of her voice. The truth is, she is right there in you. She is a part of you, you don't have a choice. That's what your love does to me. You make me feel like I never had my heart broken. Like I never saw a door closing. Like I never watched love run away on fire in the night like a pack of wild horses. Like I never felt the tears rolling. Like I never said, here's hoping I could find someone who. Story 110. And I don't need a castle because every castle crumbles. I know that I will stumble. I just hope that I die humble. Story 111. The beautiful lull, the dangerous tug. We feel small from high above. After a glimpse over the top, the rest of the world becomes a gift shop. Be humble and enjoy the life that was given to you. It always resonates with me. Story 112. Write it down and remember that we never gave in. The mind of a child is where the revolution begins. If the solution has never been to look within yourself, how do you expect to find it anywhere else? Story 113. And we were never made for love. Our souls were far too old. But loneliness needs company, and a lost dog needs a home. So you will be the fire and I will be the coal. Baby, we can burn. I don't know, something about it. Story 114. Ever feel like you are just a vessel to transport money from one pile to another? They do not see you. They just see the green and your perceived economic potential. Angel's Pit. All hail the hustle. A new industrial classic. Story 115. Find someone who cultivates flowers in the darkest parts of you. It hit me hard the first time I heard it. I believe it was Zach Bryan. Story 116. Our kind of love was once in a lifetime. Couldn't last. It was doomed from the first time. You were cool in blue suede shoes, but it was a cover for all the trouble you got into. Story 117. I like songs about drifters and books about the same. They both seem to make me feel a little less insane. I walked off to another spot, but I still haven't gotten anywhere that I want. Did I want love? Did I need to know? Why does it always feel like I'm caught in an undertow? Story 118. Well, my love, you made it home. Without you here, I'm so alone. But I will fight till my last breath, because you are the compass that beats in my chest. Sail north, compass. Story 119. I went through all kinds of changes. I looked at myself and said that's not me. I miss my home and the places I've known. Every night as I lay there alone, I dream. Story 120. I awoke only to find my lungs empty, and through the night, it seems I'm not breathing. Now my dreams are nothing like they were meant to be, and I'm breaking down. I think I'm breaking down. I'm afraid to sleep because of what haunts me, such as living with the uncertainty that I'll never find the words to say, which would completely explain just how I'm breaking down. Someone come and save my life. Maybe I'll sleep when I am dead. But now it feels like the night is taking sides. All the worries that occupy the back of my mind. Could it be this misery will suffice? Story 121. But that's okay, yeah, that's just fine. I'll learn to breathe underwater and stay away from fire. I wish you'd stayed because I've been tired. The song is Father in the Bible. It gets me every time. Story 122. I want to be with you because I am myself when I am with you. After spending almost a decade in a relationship with someone who wanted to change my behavior and appearance, it hit hard. Story 123. When I held you for the first time, I knew I had to survive. This song was released 2 weeks before my son was born. Story 124. A couple of unexpected reactions occurred because I already knew the songs, and they weren't related to my situation. However, they were painful due to my circumstances at the time. Grass, trees, and dew. How I just hate you. Please turn those headlights around. Hearing that line from Something in the Orange by Zach Bryan after a young friend died in a car accident was difficult. Whisper it like it's a secret, ready to condemn the one who hears it with a heavy heart. This line from Heavy in Your Arms by Florence and the Machine resonated with me after a sexual assault was reported to me at work, involving one coworker against another, both of whom I had worked with for years. Anyone who has had to make that kind of human resources report knows how frustrating it can be to investigate, and how others become frustrated with you because they believe you are not taking action when there isn't an immediate consequence. Story 125. I would rather stay inside and play video games. I tried to date online, but women think I am lame. I work a 9-to-5 job to save. Story 126. I think there are too many reminders, and that's probably why I have mostly stopped listening to music. Everything seems to evoke bad memories of people who have passed away. It's depressing. At times, music reminds me of good times, but those moments always feel fleeting, which is also disheartening. Story 127. Every line of 10,000 Days by Tool reflects on the impact of the artist's mother's passing. Maynard James Keenan's mother suffered from an aneurysm when he was about 10 years old, leaving her bedridden for approximately 28 years before she passed away. The song addresses her death and its significance in his life. She was very religious, but members of the church spread rumors, suggesting that God inflicted her stroke due to her character. The song has two parts, and it always evokes strong emotions when I hear it. Story 128. Here are a couple of quotes. I won't lie too hard to hide. I never felt worthy of love. I would give up everything I have just to feel good enough. Would anyone notice, citizen soldier? Do I deserve a shred of worth? Or am I just another lost cause? Broken Anson Seabra. I know I'll be fine. It's just that every time this comes back, tell my maker up above that I have had enough and can't carry this anymore. I can't carry this anymore, Anson Seabra. I know the day will come that this won't hurt anymore, and all the pain will be just an afterthought. If I'm strong enough to let you in, I can let you out again. Hurtless, Dean Lewis. I wonder why I'm so afraid of saying something wrong. I never said I was a saint. Wonder Shawn Mendes. You held me down, but somehow I felt free. I was a young man at the start of my life. You were the only thing I did right. I still do, Dean Lewis, because I'm running out of reasons, trying so hard to believe in all the promises you made in the dark. When you had me in your orbit, you said only I can solve it. Then you left as soon as I fell apart. With you, Dean Lewis. Trust me, you got this. You always were the strongest. But I'm not going to promise that this won't hurt. Trust me, Dean Lewis. Even though you're gone, I'm still holding on. More than you could know. Even though it's wrong, you're still all I want. I feel so alone. Empire, Dean Lewis. I walk through the ashes of my passions, reminiscing with the baggage in my casket. I get lost in questions I can't answer and can't stand who I am, but it doesn't matter. We scream to be free, but I stay captured, knee-deep in defeat of my own actions. I feel weak, but the peace that I keep lacking keeps speaking to me, though I can't have it. Hate myself, NF. I know that shutting the world out isn't solving the problem, but I didn't build this house because I thought it would solve them. Now I'm in a position. It's either sit here and let him win or put him back outside where he came from, but I never can, because in order to do that, I'd have to open the doors. Is that me or the fear talking? I don't know anymore. Mansion, NF. I'll be fine if I never land because the distant sky is always better than my life right now and the place I am. I guess Peter Pan was right, Anson Seabra. Friends can break your heart too, and I'm always tired, but never of you. If I pulled a U on you, you wouldn't like that. I put this reel out, but you wouldn't bite on it. I type a text, then I change my mind. I have these feelings, but you never mind that. When love and trust are gone, I guess this is moving on. Everyone I do right does me wrong. So every lonely night I sing this song. I hate you, I love you, Olivia O'Brien and Nash. I'm better off a stick. I'm better off a stone. I'm better off a jerk. I'm better off alone. I'm better off not feeling stressed or feeling bliss. I won't feel much, at least I won't be feeling this. Touchy-feely fool, AJR. Story 129. I feel so helpless, like a boat against the tide. I wish the summer winds would bring back paradise. Decades ago, I left my small town to seek my fortune, which meant leaving behind my childhood crush. I look back on those teenage years with such aching nostalgia, and that song by Styx, which we attended together, still makes me sad for what was lost. Story 130. You know that I've seen too many romantic dreams up in lights, falling off the silver screen. My heart is like an open book for the whole world to read. Sometimes nothing keeps me together at the seams. Home Sweet Home by Motley Crue. Story 131. You see the patterns in the vast sky. Those constellations resemble you and me, that tiny planet and that larger figure. I don't know whether to laugh or cry, just like the patterns in the vast sky. We'll be together until the end is near. I don't know the answer or the reason why. We'll stick together until the day we die. If I had to do this all a second time, I wouldn't complain or make a fuss. Who would the angels send but that unlikely blend of those two humorous friends? That's us. Story 132. Every single day it breaks me into pieces. I've tasted defeat at the hands of my demons. I feel like a failure in my achievements. I should put an end to this pain. Lord, I know I haven't been a saint, but tell me what I did to deserve this suffering. Tell me what I did to deserve this hurt when all I ever did was put everyone else first. Story 133. I reserve my right to feel uncomfortable. I reserve my right to be afraid. I make mistakes and I am humbled every step of the way. I want to be a better person. I want to know the master plan. Cast your stones, cast your judgment. You do not make me who I am. God help those who help themselves and forget about everyone else. You lost your nerve. You missed the point. God help those with open hands. May they never feel burdened again. Yes, I will stand up for those who cannot. I will close the distance. Story 134. Take back your wonderful life. The more love you have in life, the better it is. We say this all the time. The time is now. It's now or never. We all make mistakes. So don't stay upset for long. Otherwise, it's a lonely life. Story 135. Okay, so you could come to my world, but no one comes close to my iron throne from Supernatural Mobs is such a great line. Story 136. He was born in the summer of his 27th year, coming home to a place he had never been before. I don't know why, but this lyric affected me for days. I think it's because there are so many places I want to visit, but due to the constraints of our current society, it will probably never happen. I exist in the place I am. I do my job, I love my wife, and I have a good life, but I want to feel like this. I want to go to a place and feel like I'm home. Story 137. She will mend the tapestry I tore. I left my long-term partner after 8 years together and completely broke his heart. I will never get over it. There is also a line that says, "What a shame she is troubled." Well, that's me. I do not know how to love. Everyone I love leaves me because I believe I am a bad person. Now, I am no longer letting anyone get close since I will inevitably let them down. Story 138. I could set you free. I'd rather hear the sound of your body breaking as I take you down. Story 139. No more will you be the one. That is what you tell everyone around you, but you know they have heard it all before. What more can you say? Story 140. In the end, it's not about what you have. It's all about where you want to go and the road you take to help you get there. I hope you think that's fair, because you have only one life to lead. So don't take for granted those little things. Those little things are all that we have. Story 141. He was my best friend, and that was the worst part. My boy only breaks his favorite toys by Taylor Swift. Story 142. I wish I could act in a show on television because then I could practice not being myself. I wish I knew who I was, whoever that is. I could just be and not care. I'll be whatever makes you a fan because I don't know who I am. This song resonates deeply. Story 143. Whiskey bottle, brand new car, oak tree in my way. That smell Lynyrd Skynyrd. I heard it shortly after I was in an alcohol-induced car crash as a passenger. Story 144. Becoming friends with the noose that I made, I keep trying to untie it. I want to turn it into something useful or perhaps hang it through a window pane and make it a fire escape. Story 145. Some words of advice. Maybe you've heard them before, but here goes. Just be true to yourself. If it leads you to difficult times, at least now you know. loud and clear? Is your heart big and bright? Of the place you might someday go? With many things holding you down, are you one of those things? I don't know. No big deal. Here I go. Story 146. Not exactly a lyric, but a song that impacted me deeply is Ayat from Bajirao Mastani. It's an instrumental part of my healing journey from sexual abuse. Story 147. I was in a car accident and experienced significant survivor's guilt. That song resonates differently for me now. Story 148. Be at peace with the things you can't change. Ray says this somewhat randomly in the background of Escapism, making it easy to overlook. It significantly changed my mindset and made me realize that some things are truly beyond our control. We must accept that and find peace. Story 149. So take that phone call from your mom and just talk away. Because you'll never know how much you want to until you can't someday. Till You Can't by Cody Johnson. Story 150. I am knocking on the doors of insanity, screaming through the letterbox. I know you are inside. The artist is Dabla and the song is Cardio. It is an incredible song. Story 151. Blaze Foley's Clay Pigeons features a character with substance and mental health issues. I'm going down to the railway station to get a ticket to ride. I'll find a large woman with 2 or 3 children and sit down by her side. I will ride until the sun comes up and down around me about 2 or 3 times, smoking cigarettes in the last seat, trying to hide my sorrow from the people I meet, and get along with it all. Story 152. She has eyes just like her father's. They are blue when the skies are gray, just like him. She never stops and never takes the day for granted. She works for everything that is handed to her and never once complains. I placed them in a pocket watch for my dad to give him on my wedding day. He is my role model whether he knows it or not. Story 153. This is one I think of often when my estranged family members try to call me unexpectedly when they need something after years of my efforts to maintain a good relationship with them, only to be mistreated instead. Where were you when I needed you? You could not be found. Greg Kihn Band's song Jeopardy. Story 154. Were you sent by someone who wanted me dead? Did you sleep with a gun underneath our bed? Were you writing a book? Were you a sleeper cell spy? In 50 years, will all this be declassified? And you'll confess why you did it. And I'll say, good riddance. Story 155. I finally said it. I know it's the truth. As I speak these words, I love you. If you know her story, you will understand. She was mistreated by her parents but became an idol, hiding her trauma and struggling to understand love. She couldn't bring herself to tell her children that she loved them because of this. In the end, she finally expresses her love to her children while she is dying from a stab wound. Story 156. He never learned, so in turn, I am taking his baby's mother. My hand around her collar, feeding her cheese. She said the taste of dollars was unpleasant, so I fed her 50s. About his whereabouts, I wasn't convinced. I kept feeding her money until her responses started to make sense. Story 157. I know you will write me off. I know you are always going to count me out. Do you think I am going to let you down? Story 158. Here are a few lines. These will be our final days, and I can't let go. I won't struggle in a world so cold and so wrong. Falling away, unable to buy back time. I'm stuck here alone, drifting away from you, with no chance to return home. I'm trapped in a bleak world where the end game is the same as every other. We're only here to die. Story 159. All that I live for, all that I die for. Lock the last open door. My ghosts are gaining on me. Story 160. This thorn in my side is from the tree I planted, and it tears me and I bleed. Story 161. Sometimes before it gets better, the darkness gets bigger. The person that you would take a bullet for is behind the trigger. Oh, we are fading fast. I miss you now and then. This song helped me when I was feeling guilty for grieving an abusive relationship. Story 162. And it's funny how the tables have turned. The advice that you gave me is now mine to give to you. A mother's love in 4 simple words. Forever keeping me can now keep you too. Even after your departure, I swear I can hear you say, "Be good, be safe." Story 163. The ending of Call Me by Your Name. The fireplace is in disarray, and Timothy is in tears. A vision of Gideon enters and hits like a tornado. Story 164. Not to be cliché, but keep your head up. That's the best advice I have for you, so please don't give up. Believe in life. You have the right to choose, plan, and set up to ensure that the present you live in is much better. Story 165. And I see I have been held back by the darkness in my mind. I see that I will never win the war against time. Wilds, illuminate. Story 166. Cardinals to the Wonder Years. Bruised and with paper cuts. I built 1,000 paper cranes for good luck. But I can't protect you. I had my chance, and I messed it all up. I know the feeling when the light begins to fade, and the dishes in the sink look like a mountain range. You try to will yourself to stand, but you can't find the strength. Throw your head against the cold glass of the window pane. Story 167. Know someday you'll have a beautiful life. I know you'll be a star in somebody else's sky, but why can't it be mine? Story 168. And so I will pray to her today. I ask for mercy and I beg for pauses. She is coming in warm like Cali and coursing through my veins like liquid Mary. Story 169. If I see you now in what remains of me, is it too late to plead for sanity? I lost the chance to marry the man of my dreams 7 years ago and will never get another opportunity. I am still deeply in love with him. It was never about not loving him. I was just 20, and my parents did not approve. I did not know how to stand up to them and make my own decisions. Story 170. I am a lost cause. Please don't waste your time on me. I am so damaged beyond repair. Life has shattered my hopes and dreams. I am a lost cause. Please don't waste your time on me. I am so damaged beyond repair. Life has shattered my hopes and dreams. Somebody save me. Eminem and Jelly Roll. Jelly Roll's voice is magical. It goes straight to the heart like a knife and then twists. The first time I heard this song, I had to sit down and play it repeatedly. Story 171. She is tough as December. Salt of the earth. Makes you fall like September. Long live cowgirls. Ian Munsick, long live cowgirls. Story 172. All of my friends are missing again. That's what happens when you fall in love. You don't have the time and you leave them all behind. You tell yourself it's fine, you're just in love. Story 173. Take a seat, but I'd rather you not be here for what could be my final form. Keep your pretty eyes on course and hold on to the memories of who I was before. I was not expecting this song to hurt me as much as it did, but knowing the inspiration behind it, as I care for my own aging grandmother and prepare to be the person there in the final stages of her life, I cried like a baby. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.